Well, if he can do it consistently, that's certainly a point in his favor. It looks like we're off already. Uncle asking if we're a bad enough dude to do this. I think these runners probably are.
How bad do you want to be?
I hope they're just good enough to, well, at least one of these runners is good enough to beat the other one, which, you know, I'd hope would happen, or we're going to have a logical conundrum on our hands.
I think they're both good enough to rescue Zelda, at least.
Oh, very certainly. If they're not doing escape, then something else is going weird with this race. Right. Let's see what Uncle has today.
Nice little bow from the Uncle. That's so in case you're a little confused on why we got a bow there, finally, why don't you explain the randomized swords part of the standard mode we're dealing with?
Well, Ether Medallion. But that doesn't have anything to do with why Uncle had a bow. Uncle, in this version of the randomizer, can have one of 7 possible random weapons, including the bow, the fire rod, the hammer, a couple of other things, just to mix up that experience you have going through escape. Bow is actually one of my very favorite things to see, because it opens up the possibility of an early play into Eastern Palace.
I just like early bow because I hate having bow be the last item to find.
Yeah, and you know, there was a match earlier today. Both runners ended up going into Ganon's tower trying to find the bow because it can elude you until the very end. None of that nonsense right here. We're going to have that knocked out of the way right at the start.
Yeah, so other than the fact that we have a bow instead of a sword, this is going to be a typical escape route through these the first 6 minutes of this race. We're going to run down, we're going to rescue Zelda. Just want to point out our the sprites that our 2 runners using. VioletPumpkin going with the traditional boring, I wouldn't say boring, Link sprite. Hacksaww busting out the trademark Andy Pug sprite.
Yeah, shoutouts to our sprite devs who are always making those new sprites. And VioletPumpkin took out a guard there and actually managed to pick up a bomb already. That's really good news on her end.
Yep, getting a bomb drop here. Let's get to those 3 items behind the bomb wall here and escape. That means you'll have to come back later for them.
Yeah, now that did show up fairly early in the drop order. If Hacksaww farms just a couple more green guards, he's going to start seeing the same drops, and that is going to include that 1 bomb. Hopefully they can get a few more so that they don't have to worry too much in the village. There's Hacksaw's 1 bomb.
Yeah, Ball and Chain goes down to 4 shots of the bow and arrow here, and VioletPumpkin with a slight lead against Zelda, getting a big 20 from the chest.
You know, 30 arrows seems like a lot, but when you count, 4 for the ball and chain guard, 2 for each of the blue guards, 1 for the guard in this room both runners are going through, you start to spin those fairly early. And if you're trying to farm a lot of bombs as well in escape, that supply can get depleted. I'm glad that bomb showed up right at the start for them.
Yeah, so both these runners are going to be on even footing for the most part. Yeah, usually when I want to farm bombs with a low resource like the bow, I would probably go do it in the one little room where all the snakes hide out.
Yeah, that's an option. Grabbing pots in this room here and just taking out guards in a single hit, also very effective when you need to find bombs. Of course, as we said, they don't need to do that at this point. And of course, on the off chance that you've stumbled upon this and you somehow haven't seen a randomizer before, it's where all the items and chests in Link to the Past are shuffled up, put together in an order that the game is still finishable, and these runners are trying to collect all 7 crystals, climb Ganon's tower, defeat Aghanim up there, and then take out Ganon and do it faster than the other player as they enter a wonderful sink here going through the sewers.
Yeah, they're pretty much almost frame for frame here. I think they actually are frame for frame here. Actually spend a little time to kill a few more snakes and falls a little behind here.
I'm not going to lie, I was hoping for more bombs there, but hey, at least we have an arrow refill.
Yeah, 10 more arrows means you use your arrows a little bit more in the last few rooms here. You only really need one more to kill one more rat that has a small cape.
Both runners using some really clever movement across that water area where you, if you tap the up arrow slightly on your controller, you actually gain a bit of speed trying to move across that water because water actually slows Link down a lot of the time.
Hacksaww, the first one to get to these 3 chests over here. We see more bombs. That's nice. 5 rupees. And the map. So that means we're going to be opening up that second chest.
On the one hand, that's really not very exciting. On the other hand, getting your bombs for Kakariko at that point will let these runners breathe a huge sigh of relief.
Yeah, to get all the items in Kakariko Village, you're going to need exactly 3 bombs, and those 3 bombs you just got. Now you don't have to worry about getting lucky at the bush crab or the tree pulls. As we got the exit here, just under the 6-minute mark. Very nice escape for both these runners. And the Sanctuary Possessions is 1 rupee.
Ooh, and VioletPumpkin, deviating from the standard route where normally you'd go off to Kakariko, warping straight to Link's house. Hacksaww gave us a map check there. I think I saw Crystal at Eastern and Hera.
Yeah, and Desert is its vanilla blue pendant. So Violet's going straight to the dam. This is a little bit of a deviation from what we see most runners. Most runners, you'll see what Hacksaw's doing now, which is go right to the Lost Woods and head down to Kakariko. Both these ways have 2 items. Let's see if it pays off for one run or the other. Hacksaww got a nice little tree pull there, a bunch of 20 rupees. So that'll be the money for the bottle vendor for him.
So, the standard thing is to go straight to Kakariko because that's where the bulk of the items are. I think 14 chests in total. Hacksaww finds the cape in the Lost Woods. I kind of like what Violet's doing, though. She says, I don't have enough money for the bottle vendor and to buy more bombs. I don't have a bottle already. Well, but by going south, she's going to hopefully get some more bombs, hopefully get some more rupees, and definitely can visit Sick Kid on her first trip now.
And you notice the bush crab was dropping 8 packs of bombs, so that was really nice.
That's great.
So she's now full up on bombs. She got a bottle from the dam, so when she goes to Kakariko, she can go Sick Kid right away. Doesn't have to worry about coming back. We're going to see Hacksaww go through and get 20 rupees, Blind Hut, the Quake medallion. That's 2 medallions already. More money and more money. Meanwhile, on Violet's side, we're going to see Mini Moldorm Cave have Pizza Heart, heart container, rupees, heart containers, and
red.
A lot of bulk items there. We got the Quake, though, so that's not the worst. Now she's Violet's heading straight to Ice Rod Cave here as Hacksaww continues the traditional check through Kakariko Village.
Ooh, VioletPumpkin's got to be careful here. Down to only 1 heart. Any of these big crabs walking around will take her out in a single hit at this point.
Ooh, the hammer is in the back of the well there. And the power glove along with a lot more bombs.
Yeah, Hacksaw's not going to need the bomb drop from the hoarder crabs there. Finding hammer and glove at this point is really nice. We're looking at pretty quick Dark World access as long as that Moon Pearl shows up.
Yeah, as long as the Moon Pearl shows up. Important words there. Nothing in Ice Rod Cave. We saw the bottle vendor actually had the blue boomerang for us. And, Hacksaww actually fell victim to the chicken glitch there for a second, but got out of it by getting hit with the bomb. And the flute in a very nice location, because they can go immediately activate it.
So Kakariko, absolutely loaded with gear at this point. VioletPumpkin is going to make the trek over there, and, she's going to appear to be slightly behind, but since she's done South Shore, that won't really hurt her. She will get to check Sick Kid on her first trip there, though, and that's really nice.
Yeah, the only downside is that because Hacksaww has that flute already, it'll make his traversing the overworld a lot faster, at least for the early game. Violet will get her flute eventually in short order. Yeah, Hacksaw's not going to be able to hit Sick Kid on his first trip, so that's going to be a slight benefit for Violet, especially if Sick Kid has something of nice importance here.
Yeah, and at this point, I'm just kind of waiting to see which of these runners dares to head up.
And in the library, we see the lamp.
Oh! Well, that's really interesting.
Yeah, so the lamp, we'll definitely need that if we need a fire source. But if these runners are proficient in dark rooms, and I would guess that they probably are, they may not need that if they find the fire rod. But more than likely, these runners will grab the lamp if it's convenient to them, solely because one, it could be their only fire source for most of the seed, and two, it makes the dark rooms irrelevant.
Yeah, now, I think the most interesting part about the lamp there is if you end up needing the boots for something, maybe a required item in Desert Palace, say, it's fairly easy to pinpoint where the boots might be hiding at this point, because logically anything you see locked behind that lamp is also going to be locked behind the boots.
Yes. The boots will not be behind anything that's dark, but because we got the flute already, Death Mountain's going to be open to us.
That is definitely true, and does make it a bit harder to narrow that down.
Next, we gotta be careful here. He's in the one-hearted mini Moldorm cave, trying to use these arrows as efficiently as possible. Gets a nice little pattern with the Moldorm getting stuck in the wall there. But unfortunately, he's not going to find exactly what he's looking for here.
I mean, our runners are up to 6 hearts. That's not terrible at this point in the run. Especially if we're expecting to see an early play into Dark Eastern Palace.
Yeah. Hacksaww takes his flute out, so he's going to flute over to Ice Rock Cave quick, or maybe head to Death Mountain this early. And we're going to see... looks like this is going to be the Eastern play. Now, we can complete Eastern even without the lamp, because we're going to know the dark rooms here, but there's one room in particular that's a little tough.
Yeah, and Hacksaw's heading over to check on Hazrula first, maybe hoping just to get something else that'll give some assistance in the dark rooms from these 3 chests.
The fire rod would be probably the best thing they can find here, because that makes the one tough dark room kind of trivial here.
It certainly does.
Well, Sick Kid is an important check. Unfortunately, only 20 rupees, so not going to pay off for VioletPumpkin. And back to Hacksaww, also not paying off for Hacksaww, so he's going to head over to Eastern. He's going to be able to complete it, but again, he'll be in the dark for a few rooms here.
And VioletPumpkin checks in on the library, finds out, hang on, lamp is boots locked.
Now, for instance, if boots are in one of these first few chests here in Eastern, this would have been a logic double dip into Eastern. It looks like VioletPumpkin's not going to be that far behind Hacksaww. She's taking the same route. That Cane Burna first chest here in Eastern, that's going to help a little bit with the dark room, but not a ton, because, yeah, you'll be able to see where you are, but you still can't see your enemies.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, we'd get a sword right about this point so you can see what you're doing in the dark. I was hoping one would come out of that chest as I said it, but alas, fortune was not on our side.
That's something that's usually reserved for me. I'm pretty good at doing those call shots. But I'm not going to be doing it right now. We'll wait till the next chest. Where he'll find the compass. Bold prediction, I know.
I mean, that is a fairly safe prediction, just playing the odds here.
I mean, 25% chance of being right.
It's definitely in this dungeon.
Ooh!
Oh. That's actually really interesting that we see it here as opposed to in the dark room. If it was in the dark room, it'd be locked behind the lamp.
And thus blocked behind the boots. But now, that move pearl means that those boots can be in the dark world as well now. And this would have been another logically double dip. We do have dark world access now. We have pretty much dark world access everywhere in Hyrule except for Deathbound and Dark World.
So early on, a wide open seed. I can't wait to see which dungeons are going to have the pendants in the Dark World. Well, there's your compass on Hacksaw's side in the vanilla big key room.
Yeah, a little behind. Of course, he's going to go finish the dungeon again. We're going to be in the dark here. The Harmless Knights do have the last item, and the last item will technically be lamp blocked. And thus boots blocked.
So we'll see what Hacksaww uses to get through this room. Going for I think he's maybe trying to shoot up into the Igor to get his arrow to stick in it, but having some trouble pulling that off. There we go. Now that the arrow moves, he can see where the Igor actually is, see that it's ready to hit, and he takes it out.
Yeah, it was good to shoot the arrow into the Igor while it's still not moving, so that way when it starts moving, you can follow the path of the arrow that you stuck into it. Very nice strategy on Hacksaw's side.
And this is where the Cane of Burna actually ends up being the most useful, is in this room. Without the sword, you can't do a spin attack on all those popos. But with Burna, you can still get them in one swipe.
Yeah, that was really nice.
And great timing on the full magic refill there. Saves a tiny bit of time, as Hacksaww won't have to wait for the magic bar to fill up after collecting the crystal out of this dungeon.
Every frame matters. And we get that's Hacksaw's second bottle, but he still hasn't been the sick kid yet.
I mean, it's nice to have a fairy for safety, as VioletPumpkin hit some trouble in the dark room and is going to go grab one herself. But ultimately, no new progression. Turns out the real treasure of Eastern Palace was that moon pearl.
Yeah. More than likely that this was a probably logically double dip situation we had here. Looks like VioletPumpkin did get her key in this dark room, then she's got to make her way over towards the to the exit, and I think she's got it. Now we're going to see where Hacksaww goes next. He just went to say kid got his 20 rupees. And it looks like it's going to be towards the Hype Cave area. And we see the pendants are at Swamp. And the green pendant over at Skullwoods, I think I saw a red crystal at Pod, but I did not see where the other red crystal was.
Well, I did not catch it either. It's possible our wonderful tracker kept an eye on that.
Meanwhile, we're going to see our Hype Cave. I know chat's going to get their Hype Cave index going here for what we're going to find here. That's not a good start. And yeah.
Well, that was a cave. It contained some chests.
When the best item you get is a piece of heart. Yeah.
There were chests, and I have nothing more to comment about that.
Alright, well, it looks like Hacksaw's going to go visit Stumpy and probably do the digging game, and well, I think he's going to hope for Talismans here, because otherwise he can't progress over to Village of Outcasts going this way.
Yeah, and of course, if that doesn't work out, maybe just go in from the top end. I don't think we'll see either runner do Death Mountain at this point, just because the potential there is so little. I like VioletPumpkin's play, though.
Now, again, she knows that she's not going to be able to... She's going to be going through dark rooms here in Pod, but she can clear Pod.
Yeah, clearing the dark rooms here is rather challenging when you don't have a sword. It's the primary way of navigating around the dark maze and keeping track of where you are, is to hold that sword out and use the little sparkles at the end.
I just want to point out the digging game, 4 times as good as vanilla. Because one piece, you need 4 pieces of heart for heart container.
But you didn't have to dig nearly as long as you normally do in vanilla. That's significantly better than 4 times as good.
Yes. 400 times as good. I don't know. Oh, the other special crystal is actually Thieves Town, which we can also complete at this moment. So we have early Pyramid Fairy access. Not gonna have the boots, but it'll be early Pyramid Fairy access.
Yeah, you know, if the boots end up showing up relatively early, that does get my eye pointed towards the Pyramid Fairy as an early spot. If the boots in the item progression show up really late, that makes me think, maybe it's not so important today.
Up there, the boots. Wow, nice place for them.
Well, speaking of,
so lots of logical double dips here. The logic wants you to double. Oh, she's making smart. She's gonna go get that lamp now, and I don't blame her one bit.
You know, when you actually have the flute and all those things line up with this knowledge that quickly, plus you know you're doing Mire and you know you're doing Turtle Rock at some point, getting the lamp almost certainly saves more time.
Yeah.
Especially because you might need it to light torches regardless.
Yeah, so what the logic wants you to do is go into Eastern Palace, get the Moon Pearl, leave, go to Pod, get the boots, go get the lamp, and then finish both those dungeons. And Hacksaww getting a little trouble with these wall masters here.
Yeah, that's twice now he's been grabbed. Nasty room, especially when these Gibdos are not getting out of your way. He's got to be very careful with his health at this point.
Yeah, one touch from those Gibdos and you're done.
Fortunately, those Gibdos are terrible at walking through statues.
Our first item here, the piece of heart. He's going to take a death warp here. Oh, well, he wanted to take a death warp, but he forgot that his gift from the Armless Knights was actually a fairy in a bottle.
Fortunately, he avoids that wall master there because about the most ineffective thing you can do in that room is get grabbed on your way out. That'll force the entire dungeon to reload.
Yeah, he's got the first item from here. It's going to go finish off the front half. I thought he was. I was going to go to the front door. Gotcha.
Yeah, and since these runners got that early cape in the Lost Woods, probably see a nice quick check over to the Bumper Cave.
Yeah, especially with that cape, we can actually get the item on Bumper Cave. Contrary to popular belief that a lot of people think you need the hook shot to get that item, you actually do not. You can actually sneak on through the side door, I guess.
Yeah, very narrow ridge that you can walk around. You might see it here in just a minute if it ends up having anything.
Well, the book I think we're gonna go get.
Yeah, that's a worthwhile pickup.
However, we gotta watch out for those pterodactyls. Spelled Terror dactyls because they hurt.
Yeah, they do what? About 3 or 4 hearts of damage if you're in green mail, which usually at the point in a sea where runners are checking this cave is enough to take you out way too quickly.
So Hacksaww gets his book. We're gonna find out eventually if that's required or not. It's only required if we need to access Desert Palace, which right now is a pendant. But hey, the mirror could be back there. Although the way the pendants line up, the mirror could be on Gannis Tower.
And that's fine. Then we just run a mirrorless seed, and that's a couple locations the runners never have to check. Nothing can go wrong from that.
Of course not. Alright, so VioletPumpkin's going to continue through House of Darkness since she has her lamp. This will be easy for her. Hacksaw's in the Village of Outcasts. I'm going to check these 3 chests and probably knock out Thieves' Town while he's over here.
Yeah, the blind fight, bit tricky when you only have the hammer, but if you've got the Cane of Burna and you get into real trouble, you can just start cheesing your way through the fight and you won't have any trouble.
Yeah, just because I think we have a green potion from... Oh, never mind, we got a sword.
Okay, well.
One more chest to check here in Village of Outcasts before we head into Thieves.
Hacksaw getting 100 rupees as the incidental prize from the chest game, and also being saddled with a bomb upgrade in the process.
Alright, so we're going to see 2 different dungeons here. Both of the Pyramid Fairy dungeons being done at the same time, just different ones. And the shovel is the first chest.
Sadly, there's nothing else they need to complete Thieves' Town right now. Otherwise, we might have that possibility of a required double dip of Thieves' Town.
Also, I like this writing on VioletPumpkin's side. She is doing the Dark Maze first, and she's gonna, because she does it in the mirror, instead of death warping, she's gonna just go back around the other way afterwards. I like this. This is, of course, where the mirror's in the big chest and he feels dumb. Or not.
Yeah, in this particular case, with an early big key that you'd have when you're going into the maze, it's sometimes faster to actually hammer jump over to this chest and kind of do the maze backwards. So you only walk it once, but this will work out for her, as Hacksaww took, I think, an unintentional death there.
I think it was a health refill death. So it cost him a little time, but he got his hearts up from 2 to 5.
And, you know, heading into the depths of this dungeon, especially when you don't have powder to refill with that anti-fairy at the end of Hellway, probably worth it. Better to take the death at the start of the dungeon.
And we see another sword here in House of Darkness.
Okay. Red Crystal dungeons have swords today.
Alright, logically I believe that we know that the vanilla big key chest will have a small key, and Helmstar has less item. She skipped that vanilla big key chest, probably gambling that it was a small key, and because she had the big key already, and it's going to pay off for her.
Yeah, and aside from those swords, I don't think we've seen anything else come out of these dungeons so far. So
Well,
we got the crystals.
The boots started off in pod, and remember she found them and went back.
Oh, that's true. She has the boots, and that's given her, a small advantage as the run goes on.
Yeah, it'll add up as the run goes along.
A good play here to go and stock up on arrows before heading into Helmasaur, because with the Fighter Sword, your ideal way of taking out Helma in the second phase is 8 arrows to the head. Alright, so let's see how Violet does in the turtle room. Ideally, you'd spin the turtles with the Master Sword, or better to take them down. She is just going to go to town with the hammer and clean them up nice and quickly.
Yeah, I like going to town with the hammer. Oh yeah, Violet didn't even get the one chest in the bottom. She skipped the center door and skipped both chests on the drop down. That's just good understanding of the logic right there.
That certainly is. Great counting of keys.
Like, I knew that the big key chest had a small key, but I completely forgot that she skipped the center door and that the other chest in the basement there had a small key as well. It's going to take, I think, 9 shots with the arrow. She has to be careful, but she got it.
There we go.
Hacksaww's now going to go into the blind fight. Let's see if he knows the scripted blind fight.
Looks like he's going for it. Blind reminding us that medallions are required to enter Misery Mire. Thanks, Blind. You're so helpful.
Yep. Throwing a little pun in there, because when you see that, you're like, wait, what? And then you realize it said ether, not either. Ha ha, funny jokes. And pretty much almost the scripted fight that we come to learn. But just a bomb capacity upgrade, so other than actually, no. Shovel. That's what we got from Thieves Town.
Oh, goody. A fetch quest from a dungeon. Just what we like to see.
Well, I think Violet's going to head over towards maybe the pyramid and or catfish, as she's not saving and quitting, instead just running around here.
Yeah, I think this is the best time you're going to find to do it. 5 hearts and green mail. She'll have to be a bit careful. Anything too powerful will take her out in a couple hits. And Hacksaw's going to turn in that shovel right now.
And to get knowledge of the game, knowing that a fairy comes out of that tree when you bonk it. So refills your hearts before you make this trip. And we find another sword on the side of the pyramid.
Alright. I'm sure she wanted to have that before trying to do Palace of Darkness, but it's not like Fighter Sword gave her any trouble.
No. And now we know that once she gets to the Village of Outcasts, she'll get Tempered Sword there.
Yeah, things are really dropping down right in VioletPumpkin's path. This is working out well for her. Hacksaww on his way down to Palace of Darkness. Gonna get those boots in the first chest. Do you think he's gonna do that same lamp play?
I mean, I would, but I suck at all dark rooms, so... But yeah, I would guess probably, because especially with a fire rod, doing the turtle room in the dark is not something you want to do, and it doesn't take too long to ring the lamp and come back.
Yeah, there's an argument that if you already have a sword when you're going into the dungeon, you might be able to just put off getting the lamp until you've finished up here, and you don't have to make this trek twice. But if you do the trek right... Oh, never mind, we don't have the mirror. You can't save your Dark World portal.
No. But you can just flip to 5 and it's just as fast. Okay, let's see what's next on the agenda here for VioletPumpkin. Looks like she might be heading up towards... Bog Rocks, yeah. See our third bottle underneath the Bog Rocks as Hacksaww gets his boots. Let's see if Hacksaww puts 2 and 2 together, but it looks like he's not at them up. Wait, Yes, he is. He puts it together. He says, "Yeah, give me lamp."
And Violet gonna check on the lumberjack cave.
One of us likes peanut butter.
Which one? That's the real mystery here.
It's just, oh, there's your second green rupee to seed, so there you go. Aga 1 not required.
That's right. There's a few guaranteed single rupee drops in Aga Tower, so if you really need that one rupee, you don't have to beat the tower all the way.
And you see Violet now heading up to Death Mountain here. Rescue the old man here, and we can not do too much here because without the mirror or the hook shot, we can't get to the right side.
No, that's right. We can check what's on Spectacle Rock. We can get inside Spectacle Rock, and we can do the Spike Cave.
We can do Spike Cave. You're right about that. And Blue Mail's a nice find.
That's actually really nice to have at this point.
She is not bothering with anything else. She just wanted to set that portal. Looks like she's going to go do other things now.
You know, I like that idea. You know you're going to set up that portal or that start point at some point in the run. Why not do it early and see what that item is? Worked out really well.
I got that little padded defense there. Hacksaw's going to go check the lumberjack cave as well now. I see a lot more of our runners doing it. I've been doing this a lot to put off checking this until you find the boots or the mirror to make routing it a little easier.
Yeah, if you don't have the boots, then there's no reason you'd be opening that lumberjack cave anyways, so why not wait until you got the boots and you're doing bonk rocks to check on the contents of that cave?
Yeah, and we're coming to the point where VioletPumpkin's heading up towards Skullwoods, Hacksaw's going back to Pod. Both of our runners are doing things the other one has done. So in this little lull, we're going to mind you guys that this is game 2 of a best of 3 in the first round of the bracket stages of this tournament. Hacksaww won game 1, so if Hacksaww wins this match, we will have a game 3 sometime later this week. We will not have a game 3. We will have Hacksaww moving on. If VioletPumpkin wins, we will have a game 3 sometime later this week. And if you like what you see from these runners, I encourage you to give these runners a follow. Like I said at the open, VioletPumpkin loves to do the crazy modes of this randomizer. So if you are a fan of Entrance Shuffle Key Sanity, you can go give her a follow. Hacksaww, like I said, he likes to race a lot casually. He races me a lot over on the 10 o'clock side. So go ahead and give these two a follow. Links in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely do that. Hacksaww running up the right side of Palace of Darkness right now. We'll see if he knows the key logic well enough to pull off the same trick VioletPumpkin did, which really worked out in her favor. Able to skip 2 chests entirely at the front half here.
You know, VioletPumpkin sees her book, and she's going to go get it now. Just barely, yeah.
Something about that lineup was not working. Hacksaww doing a nice little bump or bonk over to get that small key. He is going to end up dropping down. Oh no, he's not. He's going to the back.
Yeah, he's going to make the same gamble that VioletPumpkin made, and it's going to pay off. You know, he's going to do the hammer jump here.
Ooh, doesn't quite get the setup there. But he's going to give it another shot. He can still mess this one up if he's confident in trying it again. It is pixel perfect on the y-axis. You have to be standing exactly in the right spot to place the bomb and to get thrown over there. But he gets it.
Yeah, this is a strategy you see all the time in No Major Glitches run, and you saw this actually a lot in the Key Sanity tournament. Because you want to try to save keys going for pod, and with only 5 keys, you could full clear pod if you know how to do that bomb jump. Yeah,
and he gets a really nicely timed refill of his hearts from that heart piece. plus a heart container in the back. He's up to 9 hearts right now, and probably with blue mail incoming pretty soon, these runners are going to be very safe.
Yeah, what's interesting is what's going to be next for these runners. Is they still have a lot of overworld to check, but not as much as you might think because we still don't have the Titan Smiths yet.
Yeah, no Titan's mitts, no flippers, no mirror. There's the Master Sword for Hacksaww. VioletPumpkin about to come upon Tempered.
Well, not quite, because the Tempered is actually still in Village of Outcasts.
Oh, that's right.
It's in
That's right.
One of the only place she hasn't checked yet. She was going to do that probably after this, and she probably would like to wish she had that, because the Tempered Sword takes those red horse heads out in 1 hit instead of 2.
Yeah, certainly an edge there. Fortunately, of course, for Blind himself, that won't matter at all, because Blind takes the same damage.
Yep. You see that VioletPumpkin's only on, well, it was half a heart, now 1 half hearts, but she still has her fairy from killing Armos. So even if she takes a death here, she's not going to die. She's going to just be able to keep going. Nice little cape strats to be just extra safe going through the Hellway here.
And Hacksaw's made his way through the rest of Pod at this point, of course finding nothing else beyond those boots he got at the very start. But he's going to have, at the very least, an easier Turtle Room and an easier Helmasaur fight, since he's running around with Master Sword for this. Oh, getting just a bit too low there. He accidentally flips up that bottom turtle. Sometimes these turtles just move in the way that you really don't want, and they throw off your entire rhythm for the room.
Alright, we're going to see almost dueling bosses again. Hacksaww into Helmasaur not long before VioletPumpkin gets blind. When I say VioletPumpkin get into blind, I mean Blind's hidden first form.
Yeah, you're right. Technically, this is Blind that VioletPumpkin has just found.
Hacksaww going to slash him with the Master Sword. I believe it's 7 slashes or 8 slashes, something like that. Gets it done. No problem.
8 slashes with the Master Sword. A lot of runners will have a sword spin charged anyways, because they hold out the sword to get a bit of extra hitbox on the hammer. So if you do it that way, it's 1 spin and 6 of the lashes for a total of 7 hits.
Well, we get our 3rd crystal on Hacksaw's side, and VioletPumpkin will be getting her 3rd crystal upcoming in a few seconds here. Hacksaww, actually, he's going back in. I guess he doesn't realize that what he's missing is 2 keys, and he's going to be really interrupted by, yeah.
Yeah, I can't do the center door in this case. Oh,
hopefully he realizes that the 2 chests that are remaining in there are both keys.
And I think he may have realized that, or he's decided it wasn't worth his time to go back in. Either way, that's fine, but, you know, he just skipped out on the pyramid. And that's a Tempered Sword upgrade at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Now he's headed back into the Dark World, which I don't think has anything else except the pyramid from here.
Yeah, Pyramid Fairy, so he can go get his Tempered Sword while he catches in his Pyramid Fairy. So
oh, that works out nicely.
Speaking of, again, Tempered Sword, VioletPumpkin's about to get hers. As she is taking blind out, she also now has 3 crystals. Yeah, we're going to see a Pyramid Fairy check only 45 minutes in. That's what happens when you have a bow start and the Pyramid Crystals being Thieves Town and Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, about the only way that could have been better is if one of them was Eastern Palace instead.
Yeah. Now, will we find our progression here, or is it going to be hiding maybe somewhere out of the way we haven't been to yet? Like, we haven't seen the Gina's Cave yet. That's in the logic. We haven't seen Desert yet. That's in the logic.
Yeah, I am getting suspicious of Desert Palace at this point, especially when the book has shown up and we don't have any way of getting to the tablets.
And we have the boots as well, which unlocks a lot of. If Desert is in fact locked, well, the boots unlocks it.
Pay no attention to the hole on the side of the pyramid there.
Yep, 1992 video games. What do you want? All right, Pyramid Fairy. We find a piece of heart and 20 rupees. So it's not that. All right, we're gonna see what the fairy refill is for the Pyramid Fairy for a bottle. We get green potion. Not what we're looking for.
Yeah, this is a little known trick in the randomizer, just because you don't often get to pull it off. But if you do throw a bottle into either of the fairy fountains, you get it filled with some random contents, and it's different for each of the fountains.
Yeah. In vanilla, it works also. I think we just get green in both.
That's right.
But in the randomizer, well, you can get any of the 5 options. You get green, red, blue, a bee, or a fairy. I don't know if you can get the gold bee or not, but... Alright, well, it looks like both of our runners are going to be done checking what the other ones checked at this point, once VioletPumpkin goes to Pyramid Fairy and Hacksaww goes to Catfish. So it's going to be interesting to see what's next for these runners. It's probably got to be the desert area.
Unless they want to check just the very top stuff on Death Mountain. Yeah, I think it's coming down to that. VioletPumpkin, of course, already did the Old Man. Hacksaww hasn't done that yet, so doesn't have the Blue Mail from doing so.
But that could be where Hacksaww goes to next, is going to be up Death Mountain. But we'll find out if he goes to 1 or if he goes to 6. I don't think he's going to go to anywhere else at this point. Actually, I'm wrong. He's going to 8. He's going to fake Flipper.
Oh, he hasn't done Ice Road Cave.
Oh, that too. And Violet's going to go do the shovel spot, which she hasn't done yet.
You know, I'm impressed with these runners. Incredibly different routes, almost 50 minutes into the seed, and basically even with what they've done. This is a very close matchup, execution-wise.
Oh yeah, they've been pretty much neck and neck the entire time, just doing completely different things.
And in case you missed it the first time, more disappointment from both the shovel spot and the Ice Rod Cave.
Alright, here's some diversions. There's the hook shot on Desert Ledge.
Oh.
That's your Dark World access. You know, Hacksaw's been setting up the water walk here. So he's going to do this water walk, which is a sequence break. Technically, he's going to go to spots that you would need the flippers to get.
Yeah, it's a sequence break, but it's a very fast way of getting up to the hobo when you can dash all the way there instead of swimming. But, you know, with hookshot where it is, and that opens up all of the rest of Death Mountain, I have to think VioletPumpkin's in the right spot.
Yeah, just bombs from the guy under the bridge. So Hacksaww, Thorn, and Terrorist plot to blow the bridge up. And gets the
That's good.
reverse
it's a useful
fake
bridge.
So he's going to head down, probably going to go check the Waterfall Ferry. He's going to see what's on the Zora Ledge, but he doesn't have enough money to cash in at Zora at the moment.
Now, VioletPumpkin's grabbing the hookshot here. I don't think she grabbed anything else from Desert Palace beyond a key on the torch. So now she's going to make her way over to the right side and see how many items she can get.
Yeah, we haven't seen any items yet. And Hacksaww just realized he messed up. He was probably thinking about farming for rupees here, but now he completely lost out on getting the Waterfall Ferry sequence breaks. Now he's going to go set it up again, looks like. Alright, well. There's the big key. And 50 rupees. We're going to open up the big chest. If the big chest has an item, I think we're done here for now. The only way we'll need to kill animals if it's pedestal required. Oh, well, no, we're just done altogether. We're going to leave
We
the
might
big
have
chest
already
behind.
seen an item from that first chest available. Oh, and Hacksaww gets a piece of heart that gives him the new heart container, which refills his health, messes up his stance, and he has to leave and come back to get 20 rupees.
That's, you know, when you try to break the game breaks you.
Yeah, and this is a tricky spot for Hacksaww to be in. Everything up here logically locked by the flippers, as he finds out there was nothing on the ledge. I know in this situation, a lot of runners would be expecting that they may never even come across the flippers in the whole seed, because with Ice Palace being a crystal, but Swamp being a pendant, sometimes you get to a position where Ice is your only dungeon left, and you just fake Flipper to there, and you never touch Swamp at all.
I mean, that's just what you're thinking. Thinking that Pendant Swap's not going to have anything? Come on, let's be real here.
Hey, I can hope. It won't work out, but I can hope.
But yeah, at this point, these runners want their last item to be the flipper, so that way they don't have to bother looking for it. They know they won't go to the swamp, and they can fake flipper to ice. But meanwhile, with that hookshot now, VioletPumpkin can check out regular Death Mountain. If she finds the mitts here, then we can full clear all of Death Mountain. And we can also get to Hera now because of hookshot and hammer. We can actually use the hammer to get over towards the Tower of Hera.
And Hacksaww, of course, does not have the hookshot yet, but he's going to head up and check in the Spectacle Rock area. Maybe, just maybe, we'll also see him go into Spike Cave right now.
Yeah, we will see. We got the red boomerang. Just a piece of hard Spectacle Rock, so can't go any further other than Spike Cave. Nothing much in Paradox Cave, though. And Hacksaw's not doing Spike Cave. He's going straight over towards... Now he's going to see his hookshot and going to be like, really? Really, game?
Yeah, that's gotta hurt to see. That's probably the kind of thing where you go, ugh, I don't like how long that's been available for.
See a shield on the floating island, so we're not going to come back for that. It's time for the Hera check, but I think the first thing we're going to check before going to Hera would be this Ether tablet here. Oh, nope, she's going straight to Hera. Hera has 2 items, and if we don't find the big key in this next chest, well, we're going to do the basement for the big key.
So, interestingly, Hacksaww just found the map in the map chest in Desert Palace. I believe that means VioletPumpkin only found 1 item.
Yes.
Out of the 2 in Desert.
She definitely did skip an item here in Desert. Whether that item's in the big chest or on Land Mullas, we don't know yet. But because of where she was, she decided to nope on out and head over to Gina's Cave instead.
Hacksaww looking to be... I was going to say looking to be a bit more thorough, but maybe he's just going back through to pick up the hookshot regardless.
But now he can round in the big chest as well, so...
Oh no, this is something we don't get to see too often. Hookshot and boots. When you head up to Tower of Hera, VioletPumpkin doesn't even have to bomb jump. She can just hookshot over and bonk back.
Yeah, that's just right there.
And be disappointed by the compass in record-setting time.
Oh no!
Oh no!
We're in the big, almost of it. I mean, you could say it's vanilla, but it's not. It's usually, but wow. Yeah, VioletPumpkin's got to go back to Desert like as soon as possible.
Oh no, VioletPumpkin, that's huge.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
I mean, the fortunate thing is, VioletPumpkin's rapidly running out of places to check that aren't locked by the mids.
Yeah, she's gonna find those eventually. It's just that she's gonna be doing a lot of checking the overworld. Hopefully, she doesn't find something like the mirror at her next spot.
Yeah, the mirror, the flippers. even the fire rod at this point could all just kind of lead her astray for a bit. She is going back into Hera to check for the second item in the basement.
Yeah, she's also got to do Spiral Cave check. Along with Ether Tablet. And maybe Spike Cave.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Ether Tablet, very easy to do once you finish this dungeon. Spike Cave and Spiral Cave, you kind of have to pick one in this case.
Nice setup to get the IG frame, the iframe glitch here, so she can just chill out for a little bit while the tiles hit the iframe link.
Take a coffee break and hopefully glance over at her tracker and have in the back of her mind that there's one item left in Desert Palace.
Do you know what would funnily be ugly, I guess, be the best thing for her is if she goes to read the pedestal. Oh wow, the Canis Mari's in the basement. That's another spot that some runners might skip out on. She does not skip that one, and it's going to pay off.
Yeah, that works out really well for her. And even better, not only is that a required item she just got, it's a required item that has no use until she gets the mitts. So it's not like finding that can lead her astray.
Correct. Well, one downside here is with Hacksaww checking all this, he can also very easily check the Dark World here because he has those mitts.
Yeah, I'll probably head over to Hera first, just because he doesn't have the mirror to come back if he heads in. But certainly clearing all of this in one trip saves a lot of time. And you also find out if you're going to need bombos for Turtle Rock.
Looks like we're going to see... Oh, she hasn't checked this yet, so she's going to check this Spectacle Rock.
Also means she's going to skip out on Spiral Cave.
Yes, she skipped Spiral Cave. But I think she's going to go back to do Spike Cave here.
So where does VioletPumpkin have to go that isn't Desert Palace at this point? Zora area?
Well, Zora area, but again, to visit Zora, everything else is not allowed to get because of no flippers.
That's right. She does have the money to do Zora himself.
Oh, spiral now.
Yeah, this is a long trek for one very slow item.
Yeah.
Good thing she has boots.
Yeah. I think she's got it down where she's looking at a tracker and she's like, all right, there's only a few handful of places left. Let me do this now just in case it is Mitts, because if Mitts is here, then she can immediately go to the Dark World Death Mountain.
This is true.
Yeah, she's done with Skullwood. She can't do anything else in there. She can't do Swamp Paddles. She can't do Ice Mire or Turtle Rock. So I don't know what else in the overworld she can do, but there's not much left. I think she has to eventually have to get back to the desert and get those Tentacles. Well, obviously she has to, just a matter of when.
That's right. Oh, and Hacksaww has accidentally activated turbo mode on Old Worm there. Still manages to get him with a nice slash.
Yeah, at first it was a poke, and that kind of messed everything up. And she looks like she's doing fake flipper, so she's going to do Zora check, but she's going to route everything else along with it with the fake flipper.
In the ideal situation for VioletPumpkin, she gets some progression out of Zora, And maybe because that's such an isolated location for Hacksaww, it takes him a while to get back there. Problem is, of course, any progression she does pull is likely to lead her further off track instead of going back to desert. Hacksaww, fortunately, continuing to be thorough, has gone back into Hera, so he is going to get that Cane of Samaria.
He's not going to skip out on that. You see a lot of runners sometimes they'll skip that item in Hera just to gamble, but especially when you just have times mitts and you have a lot of world open up to you, but he's not making that gamble. He's going to correctly figure out, well, not figure out, but correctly guess that there's going to be an item down here.
Well, he'll figure it out when he opens the chest and sees there's an item. Ooh, Violet missing the portal there. Looping back around, just gets in. Oh no, is Hacksaww...
No, he's doing the tear strats. He's, if you know what I mean, he's probably went to go get a coffee or a bathroom break or something.
Oh, he had me worried there that he was stuck in position and couldn't move off, which is pretty terrible when you don't have the mirror in there.
Yeah, but gets his Cane of Samaria. And yeah, that's what we're going to take a long time. I would recommend, yeah, just leave the vanilla way.
Absolutely. And VioletPumpkin also picked up a piece of heart that refilled her health and made her swim again inside that waterfall.
Alright. Well, didn't get to see what was on there, but no, it's bombs. And this is going to be the first time we see Zora. This is something Hacksaw's probably not going to do for a while. So if there's a required item here, this, I mean, it might lead VioletPumpkin astray a little bit, but Hacksaww might not come back for it. And that single arrow is just what the doctor ordered.
Not even worth picking up.
Alright. So I think she's got it down to, you know what, let's just do that. Let's just do that big chest in the desert. And yeah, she's heading straight back there. I think this is her last possible location.
Yeah, this will hurt, but at least she's back in the running for this. And, you know, if she doesn't, or if she ends up going in the right direction from here, she could get back in this. This is not over yet.
Yeah, if there's nothing on Dark Death Mountain, because she's probably not going to come back up here for a while. She'll probably do other locations not on Death Mountain that's Mit's blocked first. She might do Ice Palace. She can't get into Ice Palace. She could do something like Mire area.
Yeah, Mire area is kind of what I'm thinking, especially with Cane. You can you have a 2/3 chance of being able to fully clear that out, as long as you can get inside.
Yeah, if it's Ether or Quake, then we're good to go for. Yeah, there she goes. She gets her Titan's Mitts. And Turtle Rock is Quake, how vanilla, so we're gonna open it up.
Oh, now this is always that gut-wrenching decision you have to make. You can clear out Spike Cave, or Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny Cave. Then do you go into Turtle Rock right now, even if you don't have the Fire Rod? Check those first 2 chests, because I've seen progression in there more times than I can count. Even without the Fire Rod.
Yeah. Meanwhile, VioletPumpkin is going straight to the Mire area. We see that entrance for Mire will be... We don't know yet.
Stay tuned.
Super Bunny not paying off. Mire Shed. How about your 4th bottle? And how about the Fire Rod?
Okay.
She's going towards here, so she must have seen it. Nope, she did not see the freeway. It's almost. Oh, and Flippers are the first chest in Hookshot Cave. Along with our... Well, we know where all the shields are now. So each one of them has 1 shield, but we know where all 3 shields are. That's a little of a funny conundrum. And I think Hacksaww is going into Turtle Rock here.
Oh, I always
we know
like
it's
to
not
see
going
this.
to pay off. It might not pay off because we know where the Fire Rod is at this point. Speaking of the Fire Rod, though, VioletPumpkin is going to gamble. and she's gonna fake flip her to ice.
This is fascinating, especially
This
because
could actually pay off.
for her, this is a sequence break. She doesn't have the flippers because she hasn't been to Hookshot Cave. For
But
our
if-
perspective, this is actually in logic.
Yeah, and if Bombos and Ice Rod are in here, she's in go mode and she doesn't even know it. Well, she will know it because she is sequence breaking this. And by the way, Hacksaww in the first chest of Turtle Rock found a powder.
Yeah, looks like he's gonna cash that in right now and find out what it's hiding. That is all he was able to get at this point.
Yeah, everything else is Fire Rod blocked, so you can't really do anything else in Turtle Rock. Well, there's your first item in ice, and it's a piece of heart, so not paying off yet.
Now the question is, does Hacksaw go straight to Meyer area and get his Fire Rod as well? Or does he take the mids and start doing a lot of overworld stuff?
It's gonna be interesting see what happens. Oh my gosh!
Oh,
wow!
what?
Can you say required double dip for Turtle Rock? Ice Rod at the powder spot? Are you kidding me?
That is incredible!
Now, what would help Violet is when she finds the mushroom anytime soon, because she could check that without the powder if she finds the mushroom.
That's incredible. In Hacksaw's case, not having the Fire Rod was the best thing that could have happened to him there.
And now he's going to get the Fire Rod, so he's only going to need Bombos for go mode.
Yeah, and for all we know, Bombos could be hiding inside Turtle Rock. But, you know, if he had the Fire Rod, he might have kept going further into the dungeon trying to find something else, when in fact, being forced out was exactly what needed to happen. That's amazing.
Yeah, Hacksaww just checked to see, because if it was Ether or Quake for Meyer, he was in go mode, but because it's not, he is not. Now he's going to be on a wild goose chase for Bombos, and he's going to take the flute out, see where he's going to go. My guess is going to be he's going to join VioletPumpkin in Ice Palace. No, he's going to do Overworld, or is he going to finish? Oh, he's going to finish Skullwoods, or maybe check the pedestal 1 to 2. He doesn't have the mirror yet, so he can't route both. But
Yeah, the mirror's the last thing I want to see at this point.
Yeah, because mirror gives us access to swamp, and we don't want that.
Is he maybe just doing Smith sequence?
So I just want to point out, logically, you needed to double dip 3 dungeons already.
That's right.
You needed to dip Eastern to get the Moon Pearl. You needed to dip Pod to get the boots, just to get the lamp for both those dungeons. And then you needed to dip Turtle Rock to get the powder for the Ice Rod.
Yeah, VioletPumpkin finds the bombs. That's the second item in Ice Palace. As Hacksaw sees, there's also bombs over in the Peg Cave.
Yeah, because he's only looking for one spot, he didn't want to do the entire sequence at the moment. Again, once he finds Bombos, he's in go mode, and he's going to just blitz these dungeons.
And of course, without the mirror, he has to save and quit to trade that Smith in. You know what I really want to see? I want to see the mushroom show up somewhere. So that not only do we have 3 logically required double dips, we have 3 logically required double dips that with glitches in dark rooms, you could actually skip.
That, yeah, if we find a mushroom, then a triple double dip seed could be literally a 0 double dip seed. Now, these runners did double dip Pod, but it wasn't a huge loss because of how.
Yeah, and again, with the lamp being that visible, it made perfect sense to go and grab it.
Alright, there's only 2 chests left here in Ice Palace. It's the big chest and whatever Cold Stare has.
$50 from the Smiths.
There's your third item in Ice Palace, a heart piece. So Ice Palace, not the play.
Yeah, and if Hacksaw's hoping to end up in a go mode Ice Palace situation and doesn't dip in there until the very end, that's going to be a fair amount of time he saves. On the other hand, he is sinking a lot of time into this Smith stuff, doing, now it looks like the purple chest, and that hasn't worked out for him either, so both runners checking some stuff, but not getting anywhere at this point.
Violet with a very nice setup here on Cold Stare. Almost gets done really quick. Can't imagine there's too many hits left. There it is. Cold Stare is down. That is crystal number 5 for VioletPumpkin.
Yeah, at some point here, I expect Hacksaw is just going to head to Turtle Rock. You want to avoid climbing the mountain an extra time if you can. But at this point, when it's fully clearable, sometimes you just make the play inside. Looks like he's doing the Ice Palace as well, though.
And good news for VioletPumpkin is that, well, good and bad, I guess. Well, it could pay off if Bombos is in Turtle Rock, but she's going to Dark Death Mountain now.
Yeah, and, this is just such a tough call she's going to have to make. To go into Turtle Rock without the Ice Rod, but to stop after one chest despite having the Fire Rod is not a position anyone ever wants to be in.
Well, Hacksaw's going to full clear Ice Palace more than likely, and we're going to see, he's going to see, not going to be anything of relevance here. And we hope, for VioletPumpkin's sake, that once she finishes off the air, she's going to get flippers here, which is actually going to not hurt her too much, because again, we can't do Swamp yet without the mirror.
Yeah, I think she's done every possible location that flippers would open for her at this point.
So she'll probably just dip into Turtle Rock, and if Bombs isn't Turtle Rock, this is going to be the best thing for her.
Our tracker Nif Boy points out something really cool that I quite like. The idea that going through Turtle Rock, she finds the mirror, and then ends up mirroring out at the end, fluting away, and ends up finding the Ice Rod from doing the powder check, and then just is able to flute straight back to Turtle Rock. The odds against that are huge, but it's within the realm of possibility, and it would give her a massive lead. Oh, nice strats from Hacksaw there, swinging the sword to give himself some acceleration.
If I've learned anything from watching and playing Randomizer all these years, Bombos is going to be in Turtle Rock somewhere. What would be really weird, though, and actually realistic, and none of that would be really bad, if Mushroom is also in Turtle Rock. And then you go to the Mushroom spot, and that's the mirror, and Bombos is in Mimic Cave.
I mean, that is probably worse than sticking Bombos in Swamp Palace.
Yeah, probably.
Either way, not what we want to see.
Alright, Rathlum's about to get her her ticket to the ice rod, this powder. But because she has Fire Rod, she's going to be able to get all the way to Laser Bridge here.
Yeah, now, at this point I don't want to say she's committed to the dungeon fully, because these next two chests she's doing, she has to check at any time. Checking them now doesn't cost her anything. It's what she does after this that's going to matter.
I mean, and you're in this situation where all you're looking for here is 2 items, Ice Rod and Bombos. If both are in here, you're in go mode. She's going to full clear this dungeon all the way, hoping to find Ice Rod.
I mean, very probably that's what we'll see. Especially, she's got to be feeling behind, got to be feeling off from that Mitts pickup that she missed in Desert Palace.
Yes.
And based on that, she might be saying, okay, sure, I'll go into Turtle Rock without the Ice Rod. I'll do everything I can in it, and that might get me the lead back.
This entire race right now is one down to basically when, because VioletPumpkin put off finding the Mitts until so late. Because she decided to say, you know what, I'll skip one chest and pendant Desert Palace to get out of here earlier. And that one decision might come back to cost her in the long run. Right now, we think it is.
Meanwhile, over on Hacksaw's side, he has cleared out pretty much all of Ice Palace and, found the same general nothingness that VioletPumpkin came across. Gets another piece of heart here, which puts him up 2 heart containers, but with runners at this level, once you're above about 10, and especially once you get blue mail, health's not a concern.
Hacksaww is just a little bit of magic short from doing this, so because he has this, let's hope he has enough. Oh, he has a green potion, never mind. Forget anything I said.
Yeah, shoutouts to throwing that empty bottle into the Pyramid Fairy's pond.
Wow, that was very clean.
Oh, that was a very nice Gold Stair fight. Alright, so Hacksaww has the bad news that, yes, Ice Palace has a 5th crystal. No, it did not have any progression. He's got to save and quit from here, and at this point it's looking like a bunch of overworld checks for him, or heading into Turtle Rock.
Well, he's got the flute out, so he's not going to go to Turtle Rock just yet. Or is he?
Oh.
Was I debated again? There's Bombos, it's in Turtle Rock.
Okay, that is definitely the play to be making. So, no big deal. Just go to the Mire area so that you can get further into Turtle Rock. Just double dip Turtle Rock so that you can get the Ice Rod. And make sure you go into Turtle Rock so that you can get Bombos to go beat Mire.
Yeah, this logic has been a little wacky, but I think Hacksaw's going to be able to... Unless VioletPumpkin immediately cashes the powder in before going to Mire, which I doubt, to be honest. I think she's going straight to Mire.
Yeah, I think she would have to powder first and get that Ice Rod, but even then, she's going to have to redo all of Turtle Rock unless she finds the mirror on Laser Bridge right here.
There's the key. We're only down to 1 heart. I don't know if she sells a fairy or not. I think she does.
I believe so.
Yeah, she's done here. I mean, obviously she's probably going to go to Mire at this point.
Yeah, if she goes to Magic Bat, I think we do still have a race. This is not insurmountable. But she's going to Mire, and that's gonna hurt her. She's gonna full clear that.
Yeah, worst case scenario here is that she finds Mirror inside Mire.
That's right. Best case scenario is she pulls the big key first, and then another item, and then has another item on Vitreous, and she just takes the fastest road anyways. That could keep this close, but the odds of that are so small.
Actually, I think if there's a big key early, that's going to be bad for her because Hacksaw's going to be looking to a full clear Yellow Gomo Mire.
Oh, very true.
Alright, let's see what VioletPumpkin finds here in Mire. For our sake, we hope it's literally nothing.
Okay, small key.
Look at that little pug with the bunny ears.
Oh, it's so cute. All right, and with another small key, coming to a total of 3 with the pot key, VioletPumpkin's going to have to head around to the rest of the dungeon.
First item, just 20 rupees. Good start for VioletPumpkin's sake. Meanwhile, Hacksaww is going to be coming up pretty soon on his Go Mode item.
Yeah, he is going to have to hunt around Mire for a bit to find his big key, but shouldn't be a huge impediment. Ooh. Some Mario blocks, or rather Crystal Switch blocks getting in his way, but that's a very angry Bombos, but it's a Go Mode Bombos.
Yep, he doesn't know it, but he's got a pretty comfortable lead. With those Rage Slashes, you gotta think he thinks he's well behind now. But yes,
Yeah.
Hacksaww is now in Go Mode, an hour and 22 minutes in. He has to finish this dungeon, do Mire, and then come back to Forgan's Tower.
From his perspective, he might be worried by that time he sunk into the Smith's stuff.
Yeah.
Doing both Smith and Purple Chest without the mirror, takes a fair amount of time.
There's a big key in a spot that's actually pretty early if you route it correctly. So if Hacksaww, that could be the third chest Hacksaww checks. Hacksaw's looking for the key here, it's going to find it here. Don't think he's going to be looking for silvers at this point. It's pretty much the only thing he's going to need for the rest of his race. Well, not even need, but would like to have is those silvers.
Would not
Maybe
suck
now
to
he-
have.
He would not mind the mirror anymore. Now he's in Go Mode, having a mirror would make Turtle Forgan's Tower a lot easier.
Yeah, that's true. Now's about the time you want to come upon that. I'm sure, though, he's really happy he didn't find mirror instead of Bombos.
Yeah. Again, one little thing. Just think, if he had found the Fire Rod before going into Turtle Rock, he would not have gone back and checked the Ice Rod so fast.
Yeah, that lack of Fire Rod worked out so well in this case.
And if you think about it, it all rounds back to VioletPumpkin not checking the Desert Palace big chest. Her time to skip it and route the overworld a little better. In case you guys are just tuning in, the seed was a logically, by the logic, means double dip 3 dungeons. You needed the Moon Pearl out of Eastern to get to the Dark World. you needed the boots out of Pod to get the lamp out of the library. That's the 2 dungeons. And again, the first chest here in Turtle Rock was the powder, which led to the Ice Rod and Magic Bat.
You know, just a little bit ridiculous.
Now, we know that the last item here in Mire is going to be on Vitreous. If it's the mirror, that'll be amazing for Hacksaww, but terrible for VioletPumpkin. Let's see what strategy we see on Vitreous here. There's a lot of strategy you could use, and she's going to go with the vanilla strategy, which is I-frame your way into tempered spins.
Yeah, you take a heart of damage stepping in the goo, which slowly wears at your health, but is nowhere near as bad as actually getting hit by those eyeballs. So you take all those invincibility frames from the goo, only taking a heart, spin those eyes, and then just stick 8 arrows, or in this case, I think only 6 spin hit the big eye.
Yeah.
And there you go. 20 rupees.
Okay, so hopefully she goes right to Magic Bat. I don't think it's going to be enough anyway, but that's our best hope.
Well, Mountain Cave starts, just she's going to flute away, and she is.
Yeah, we gotta hope for a flute of 3 here. And she is. Let's see what's straight to Magic Bat.
Oh, no.
That's Dark
No,
World.
VioletPumpkin.
I hope she's not thinking about clearing out Skull Woods, and I hope she's thinking about, overall check. Like, if she goes to... Alright, so this is the right direction, because if she goes to the Blacksmith, she'll immediately do the Magic Bat after Blacksmith. So it's going to take a little bit of trekking, but she will get there eventually.
She will. Good news for her. She's doing Smith before Peg Cave, so she'll save a bit of time doing that. Oh, no.
So she's going to do Peg Cave, then she's going to save and quit, and then she's going to bring the Blacksmith, and after the Blacksmith, she's... Oh, wait. Ooh, wow.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Boy,
Now,
we are bad at catching what these runners are doing. They're just throwing little jukes at us all over the place.
so much debated going on from these runners.
Over in Misery Mire, Hacksaw's doing the cutscene chest as well, which means he's not getting the super fast big key in the big room.
Hopefully, he realizes after she's done here to just hammer a little bit to the right and then drop it down and do a little bing with the powder, and then she'll be in go mode. Of course, the only bad thing is that she's still got to do all of Misery Mire. Oh, she did Misery Mire already. Oh, wow. So, yeah, if she's going for Ice Rod. She has to go back into Turtle Rock, which Hacksaww does not, so that's going to cost her a little time, but it's not over yet now. Because, ladies and gentlemen, at 1 hour, 28 minutes, and 40-ish seconds, VioletPumpkin has achieved go mode as well with the Ice Rod.
I mean, that Magic Bat cutscene always takes a bit longer than you think it should.
Yeah. Alright, she's going to Turtle Rock.
The good news is, this is a fast Turtle Rock. She's already got every door open. She's got the final small key. She can just speed through the entire thing.
Yeah, for a moment we thought she was like woefully behind, but all things considered, she is not. She is one mistake from Hacksaww away from taking the lead. Like, if Hacksaww unfortunately takes a Death to Blind or something, we might still have a race. And again, Ganon's tower routing might come into play here. Hacksaww.
Very nice.
He was, yeah. He definitely entered the portal from the downside. So he did the new NMG glitch that was found, which is to skip that thing. What is he doing?
Oh no! Be careful, Hacksaww.
Half a heart. I don't know what
he was trying to powder there and didn't quite pull it off. He's got to powder this anti-fairy on the one hit.
Oh
no!
Wow! Hold on tickets.
Because he lost his fairy earlier when he tried to Death Warp out of Skull Woods. That's a major setback.
Wow!
We have a race on our hands in the most unfortunate way that could have happened.
I think VioletPumpkin just had the lead with that. She's already on Death Mountain. She's going to be in the Trinex room in about a minute and a half. Hacksaww has to go back through this room again and then go back through the base of the mire, which is also going to take about a minute and a half. She has a lead at this point.
Yeah, and the other thing that works to her advantage, I think at this point Hacksaww is going to finish up the dungeon he's in before she does, but she's already up Death Mountain. She's in the Dark World.
She's already there. She's up. Like, that's another minute and a half right there.
Oh, Hacksaww, my heart goes out to you. That is just not what you want to see happen to a runner. Especially because he was keeping an eye on his health. He knew the situation he was in.
I think I don't know what he was trying to do with the fire rod. But, yeah.
Ooh, and having a bit of trouble with the switch here. There we go.
Yeah, it's safe to say now, VioletPumpkin has the lead at this point.
And Hacksaw's going to play it safe this time. Says, I'm down to 3 hearts. I'm not a huge fan of that. Let me chase this anti-fairy around and get to where I'm feeling safe with my health.
Yeah, now I don't think there's an easy setup for this glitch anymore, so he's going to have to do this a long way now. Oh, well, oh no, wait, the room resets, so he doesn't have to worry about... Yeah, he's going to have to do this a long way now.
I'm glad we got to see it once. It's always fun to see that spooky action glitch.
Yeah, you see it in NMG now all the time. Most of the NMG runners have picked up that glitch. Of course, in NMG, you know what you're doing going into Mire every time, so it's easy to set up. He set it up because he knew he was going to complete the dungeon, obviously, in go mode.
And VioletPumpkin taking down both heads of the Trinex. Tempered Sword, of course, makes that 5 hits per head required. And now it's just going to be 5 total hits with Tempered on the last head. Spin counts as 2. There's 5. And VioletPumpkin has taken down the last dungeon.
And with the 7th crystal VioletPumpkin just received, we can now start our little guessing game we have here on Speed Gaming.
Rambler. Why are there numbers in chat?
There are numbers in chat because there are 22 chests in Gannis Tower where the big key can be. And if you are a subscriber to any of the Speed Gaming channels, or if you have donated 250 biddies to any of the Speed Gaming channels, you are eligible for our leaderboard. What you have to do is become the closest one to guess correctly where that big key in Gannis Tower will be. Phileon, where do you think it will be this time around?
You know, I always guess chest number 14, and that's worked out for me so far over the course of this tournament, so I'm going to stick with that. I think the more interesting question, for no points at all, is where's the mirror hiding in this seed?
Sasha?
Very probably.
Could be. We might see we'll see where the silver arrows are. That's something we haven't seen yet. I mean, these runners will not need the silver arrows, and the mirror will be very interesting to see. Because routing against tower is interesting without the mirror, especially if you find the big key deep.
That's right. There's still a lot of variables that could come into play in Ganon's Tower, especially with VioletPumpkin going right side first. If Hacksaww goes left, could make up some time there. Oh, VioletPumpkin realizes I'm missing a key. Hang on.
Can't go right side without a key, so we're going to go left after those first 2.
Well, that'll work in her favor, I think.
Bob will live because we're not going to need those 3 rupees anymore. Yeah, this is going. Now we're just looking at about a minute difference between these runners. Maybe a little bit more. Alright, chest number 4 is the bomb capacity upgrade. Number 5, just 20 rupees. Number 6, a heart container, and number 7, a small key.
So Hacksaww is going to be about 8 chests behind in this check as he comes into the tower. You know, if silver arrows don't show up here... Ooh, Violet takes a bad fall. If silver arrows don't show up in this dungeon, and we're seeing Silverless Ganon fight, without half magic, sometimes runners opt to play it a bit safely. We might see one runner gain or lose some time based on that as well. This is... Violet's definitely got the lead, but this is not over yet.
Yeah, and Hacksaw's skipping the right side chests. He's skipping the first 2 on the right.
I have to wonder at this point if he's doing Dark Magician strats.
Kind of hard without the mirror.
It is very hard to escape this room quickly without the mirror.
He was thinking about it. Oh, no.
Those were definitely the menu movements to go to the mirror, but it doesn't work in this case.
Alright, we are 9 chests in on VioletPumpkin side. We still do not have the big key. So my guess is out.
So yeah, he was hoping to go right side after doing Stalfos' room there, and it did not work out without that Tang mirror.
10 is the net. There's one of the odds we didn't need. 11 nothing, 12 nothing, Buttersword and 13. That makes Silverless Ganon a lot easier.
Yeah, it doesn't save you any time in the final phase, but it makes those first 2 phases go by so much quicker. You just kind of get straight to business.
Uh-oh. Well, yeah, you got a bomb jump now. This is an easy bomb jump, but with that, you got to just watch out for those enemies there.
You know, that's one of my favorite bomb jumps in the whole game, because no runner practices it, really. It's just a thing that people set up by accident and then kind of stumble into.
Well, we found our mushroom. Let's go into Ice Armos.
Plenty of arrows here.
Arrows not a problem for these runners. Even going up that the rest of the dungeon, it's not going to be that much of a problem.
And you know, Hacksaww, by skipping those first 2 chests on the right side, has made up a fair amount of time going through this basement.
Yeah, it's been around a 30-second time save here. As we go to the Ice Armor's chest, nothing. So it is right side. Still no mirrors. We're going to be taking the long way here.
Yeah, there's an argument some would make for opening up that center door, but if you're worried that a key's going to be in tile room or somewhere else nasty, you want to avoid spending any keys if you can.
Yeah. I would maybe consider tile room here because, and maybe not. Like if it's tile, well, tile room you got to come back anyway, so I guess it makes sense to check these 4 first and then come back later. Unless, of course, the mirror is also here with the big key in these 4 chests.
Alright, Hacksaww also skipping that center door. I mean, I'd love to see the mirror come out of these 4 chests. No question.
Ooh, nice full magic drop there. That was really nice. Alright. Still no big key. Chest 9. Oh, there's the mirror, chest 19, and the big key, chest 20. Wow.
Oh my goodness. That just all falls together so nicely.
That was as convenient as you can get.
Now, of course, having the no key on the right side, but the big key on the right side, it's the perfect time to do a Dark Magician strat. I loved what Hacksaww was thinking. Problem is, without the mirror, you can't do that. And oh no, Hacksaww has missed the torch room on the right side. He's going to have to rerun this.
And somehow, the winner of the guessing game was me. I guess there wasn't a lot of supporters in the chat this time around. I guess 9, and it was 20. Something ain't right.
That's fascinating. I had a 14 in there, but
I know
we'll see.
All right, Feasel, we gotta talk to you about this.
All right, Hacksaww has picked up both the mirror and the big key there.
Yeah, we're both going to be making this climb up here, and I'd say it's still about a minute at this point. And they entered about a minute 30 apart, and Violet checking that right side first. Costing her about 30 seconds. And Chad pointing out that it's literally a minute and 4-second difference from getting the big key.
Well, again, Violet definitely with the lead here, but a lot of this comes down to how well have you memorized the gauntlet, how efficiently can you do every room. Things like this Stalfos that just keeps jumping away from you. The extra seconds it takes to do each of these rooms can really add up. And if Hacksaw's got his gauntlet down a bit better here, he can pull back ahead.
Yeah, these patterns for VioletPumpkin have not been the nicest. Hacksaw just blazed through that first room.
Yeah, she's switching to Kana Burna for the absolute safety. This is a good choice considering I'm pretty sure she spent her fairy earlier.
I don't think she has. But she's gonna get the safety fairy
Perhaps
there.
Who Hacksaww also getting low on health.
He's out of 2 hearts. We know he doesn't have fairy.
Ooh, down to 1. He's going to go with the Fire Rod, which is a guaranteed hit if you move down left. Gets the second hit off, and just races across. Nice room.
And they're going to be in the same room at the same time here. VioletPumpkin leaves Land Molos 2. Hacksaww enters Land Molos 2. Hacksaww has made up a lot of ground because of the Land Molo 2 fight. Violet took a little extra time on it.
Hacksaw's going to take 3 cycles here as well, so Violet's going to get a bit out ahead again.
Yeah, I think Violet just had a 4 cycles, so Hacksaww might have made up another 15 seconds there. And Violet going back for that magic the magic jar. This is a very close race on the same floor. Again, about 30 seconds apart at this point.
I make it 20 seconds apart, leaving that second Wizrobe room, which is enough for this to go either way. Violet doing Torches 2. Hacksaw's going to have to get some more magic after finishing Torches 1 here, because he spent a bit more on the Fire Rod earlier.
Violet's going to look for silver.
VioletPumpkin, yeah. And also, needs to pick up that extra key from the Helmosaurs.
Yes.
To be absolutely certain.
They both do. Yeah, Hacksaww has to use having to use Green Potion here, which again,
I think he had enough magic to lamp across that gap, but it's not a position you want to put yourself in, especially if you have a hunch that things are close.
Oh, magic. We'll take that.
That trivializes the magic part of Silverless Ganon.
Yeah, you still want to get Torch Glitch, but now you're not going to run out of magic. As Moldorm 2 is down. This is the last test of silvers. Ooh, but the red mail.
Well, that trivializes the health part of the Ganon fight, but you're still going to want to have silvers.
But we're not going to have silvers. But we do have red mail butter sword. We have 15 to 16 hearts. We have cape and half magic. We are, other than the silvers, we are set. It's time for the Agate 2 fight on VioletPumpkin side. Let's see how good her geometry lessons have been. Hacksaww not getting the red mail from the last chest.
I mean, it shouldn't make a difference at this point.
The
Saves a couple seconds, but
well, the difference will be one heart per Ganon hug. Red mail you take 3, and the blue mail you take 4.
Ooh, Violet missing a couple patterns here. We are in the same fight at the same time here.
Yes, VioletPumpkin is done with her Agate 2 fight. Hacksaww got 1 hit on, and I think that was only 2, unfortunately, not the triple that it might have looked like.
Oh, just missing.
Blue ball. Yeah,
Ooh,
another
Hacksaww
bad
having
cycle.
a bit of trouble too.
Yeah, I think they both had pretty much the same Agate 2 fight here. Yeah, they had the same Agate 2 fight, same number of cycles. VioletPumpkin is now going in. They're both going to be in their Ganon fight. They're about 30 seconds apart. It's going to come down to how good your silverless Ganon is with your butter sword.
Yeah, so with butter sword, 6 hits for the first phase, 6 hits for the second phase, of course 4 hits for the third phase, and then 12 properly timed spins for the final phase. That's where the real challenge will come.
Taking a lot of damage from those fire bats there. These runners will have the same RNG for the Ganon warps for this first fight through.
Well, at least we have that, because sometimes those warps can take a while, and even if they take forever, it's at least comforting to know your opponent's dealing with it.
Violet down just 4 hearts, so she has to be a little careful here. But this is a very close race here.
I'm betting the silvers will have been in Swamp Palace.
That's a safe bet. Styx Island Swamp, we never had to go in there. Plus with where the... And yup, sure enough. Set up torch glitch, got it, no problem. And start the spins. That's 1 down, that's 2 down.
So if you've got the Fire Rod, and Ganon warps into the right spots for you, you can get 3 hits off per cycle. But requires a fair amount of skill to do that. Otherwise, you're basically resigning yourself to 2 hits per cycle. If Hacksaww can consistently do 3s, he might make up some time.
I think Violet's got 5 of them. I believe that's 7 for Violet. I haven't counted Hacksaw's side, but I think he's at about 3
Oh, he's
now.
going for the triples, but he gets hit by a Fire Bat there, which is going to prevent him from some effectiveness.
Yeah, I think Violet's down to 9. That's 10. That's 11. I think she just needs 1 more.
Could be. Hacksaw's doing well, but he kind of didn't come in
that's
with enough of a
12
lead.
for Pumpkin. And ladies and gentlemen, VioletPumpkin is officially your winner with an official speed racing TV time of 1 hour, 48 minutes, and 32 seconds.
Oh.
And Hacksaww, not that far behind, finishing with an official speed racing TV time of 1 hour, 48 minutes, and 44 seconds. A 12-second difference between these 2 runners here on game 2, and now we have a game 3.
Wow. That's all I can say is wow. This traded back forth so many times. Came right down to the wire there. Props to VioletPumpkin for pulling out the win, but both runners well done at the end there.
Oh yeah, yes, the death that Hacksaww took in Meyer was definitely the end result, but there were so many things back and forth that gave each other the lead here and there. This was a race that, oh wow.
So we're going to see if we can get the 2 of them in here for an interview. 12 seconds apart is just incredible, and I think shows why we're going to a game 3 between these 2.
Unfortunately, we will not be joined in voice chat by VioletPumpkin, though she will be joining the SG chat. However, we have Hacksaww with us. GG's.
Hacksaww?
Hacksaww, are you there?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
We can.
Hey, sorry, I couldn't hear you for a second.
Well, that was a very fun race to watch. I think you know the end result. What was the deciding factor already? But walk us through your seed, the seed. Other than that, because there's a lot of things that the seed wanted to do.
I'm so hung up on that Meyer death right now. Like, I don't know what I was thinking, but that was just horrible and cost me the game. But, well,
yeah,
you know. But, yeah, I always try to dip TR early if I'm already up there. So I did, and I got the powder out of there. I figured, well, fetch quest, let's go see it through to the finish. Got the ice rod, was like, sweet, I won't have to go back to TR again. Sure enough, Bombo's was way down. So, yeah, we ended up going to TR 3 times.
Yeah. So the point where you took the lead really was actually way back in Desert, because VioletPumpkin was there pretty early, but instead of going to the big chest, he decided to leave it behind and go route Agina's Cave a little easier. And of course, that's where the Titans were. So she wound up not getting the Titans until it was her last possible spot.
Oh man, that's rough.
And so the entire time she was trailing behind, but she eventually found the ice rod when she got going with the Smith sequence, which you fully did. Once she got to the ice rod, obviously she ended. Yeah, she eventually was able to figure out. She was in Turtle Rock. She found Bombos before you, but she wasn't in Turtle Rock before you.
Yeah, the other, shall we say, oddity that happened as a result of those late mitts was that when Violet went up to Death Mountain, she didn't have them. So there was less incentive, I think, and Violet can correct me in chat if I'm wrong on this, there was less incentive for her to head to Dark Death Mountain and into Turtle Rock, which meant she went straight to Mire area, got the Fire Rod, and ended up doing a full dip of Turtle Rock without having the Ice Rod. So she had a lot of ground to make up at the end there.
Yeah, it sounds like we took 2 completely different routes then.
Yeah,
It was
that's
funny.
about right.
It was funny you said that. You said you took 2 completely different routes, but the entire time it was like you guys converged right about the time that you started to play Flipper. She went straight to the desert area. That's like at that point you guys had both done everything the other one did, including getting the boots. You both got the boots and said, "Hot in the dark, screw that. I'm going to go grab those lamps."
Yeah, the same train of thought went through. That was really nice to see from you two in sync there.
Yeah, normally I don't mind those dark rooms at all, but I don't know. I just wasn't feeling myself tonight, so I was like, I better play it safe.
Yeah, especially because you knew where the lamp was. It was different if the boots locked the lamp in like Bonk Rocks or something like that. But because of being in the open, in the library, it made sense to just leave, come back, and yeah. That's see. Just think what the logic wants you to do. It wants you to double dip 3 different dungeons.
Yeah, that wasn't very nice of the logic.
Yeah.
It was really nice to us in the first seed, but not this one.
Yeah, this hopefully you get an average one for game 3. Do you guys have any idea when you're going to schedule game 3?
Yeah, we're set up for 8:15 Friday night.
Friday night. All right, so if you guys want to catch that, we will be streaming that race on one of these. We have 6 beginning channels or one of the 4 ALTTP randomizer channels for game 3 between VioletPumpkin and Hacksaww. It's been a fun match to see, at least for this race.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. You know, maybe next time I'll win, hopefully. But yeah, I had fun.
I'll certainly be looking forward to it, and good luck to both of you in that race. It'll be a good one. I know what I'm doing Friday night.
Yeah, let me just take a second. I want to thank everybody involved for putting on the restream. Commentators, restreamer, trackers, especially the trackers, they don't get any love. But yeah, thanks to everybody involved with the tournament, the admins, everybody. It's a great, fun time. Just thanks to everybody. Thanks.
Yeah, shout out to our tracker Nif Boy. He was on point the entire time. I didn't see any mistakes made. And of course, shout out to my co-commentator Farley on. This was a long time coming for us to work together. But if you guys didn't know, we were scheduled to call Game 3 of the finals last year.
Yeah, I'm glad we finally got this to come together.
Yeah.
I also want to shout out to Nifboy for tracking that so well, especially because, as we said, these runners ran in 2 different directions. He had a lot to keep track of. So well done on his part.
Yeah. So again, if you guys want to watch more, like I said, VioletPumpkin, she likes to do the crazy modes. If you're a fan of that, definitely go give her a follow. You can pass on a follow too. Normally around this time, he'd be starting farming me on SRL and Nightly Race. But anyways, on behalf of Feasel and everyone here at Speed Gaming, and again, shout out to our runners again, and on behalf of my co-commentator friend, my name is NY Rambler, and stay tuned. Go check out the schedule. We have lots more of the first bracket round of this tournament going on right now. I know in about an hour or so, I'll be watching for sure the match between Foolagin and Willard J. Bradley, commentated by the dynamic duo of Big John and Brewers fan JP. I'm definitely ready to watch that one.
That one will be good. And if you can't wait a full hour, right now on Speed Gaming 4, Flip and Jamie sure are in their first game as well. So always plenty of Link to the Past randomizer action. I've been Philion. I was joined by the wonderful NY Rambler. Good night, everyone.